Hey everyone, welcome back to Cheesy Thumbprints. See what I did there? That's because the public domain movie in the US that we are watching today is The Bat. So today's episode is going to be about physical media. And it's kind of an impromptu, just sort of journey down nostalgia. And so join me if you just have the time to just go through some old DVDs, things that we used to collect and purchase at our local stores, and you may still have kicking around your house. You may see them on eBay for thousands of dollars more than what you paid for back in the day. But yeah, this is what this episode is about. If you don't want to watch, that's fine. Don't bother. If you want to have it on in the background for some background noise, go ahead. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. Some old DVDs and movies we used to be able to pick up just out of those little bins and those cheapy bins and stuff like that. All right. Okay. All right, let's get started with our look at some old nostalgic stuff. All right, in no particular order. I remember picking this up, but I don't remember where, but I do remember getting it. It might have been at the store that I used to work at many years ago. 50-pack of sci-fi classics, and these were put out by Mill Creek, if you remember them. And they weren't that expensive. I think around 20 bucks, maybe a little bit more than 20 bucks Canadian. And inside they had, just like the NECA packs, they had the collectible action figures. They have a little Velcro fasteners there, and then inside you see what the DVDs are all about. And these are all basically public domain, as I said, for YouTube's sake. That's a public domain movie I have going in the back called The Bat. This is the way they did it is they used to put them in these little colored sleeves, and they were actually pretty cool, because I think there was a dozen discs in this. I'll just pull out a few, and in each one was was color coded. It was kind of neat. And when my daughter was young, decades ago, I used to get her. She used to just like to kind of organize these and put them in place. But there were movies like, the first one is The Incredible Petrified World. We all know that. Queen of the Amazons, Moon of the Wolf, The Wasp Woman. I mean, that's been sold more times than the Bible, I think. And Teenagers, Same as Teenagers from Outer Space. So you would get these neat little packs like this, and they had it was like a tray, and you'd set your discs in here like this in these envelopes, and it was pretty cool. I don't know, there was just something about having your very own sci-fi library right at your fingertips. On the back it shows a list of all those ones that today, pretty much you can go on the internet and just stream them and watch them. But hey, there's just something. If you're a diehard collector, you know what it feels like. Just have that something. Another couple types were these kind of packs. Now you may have seen these ones, and they were plastic packs like this, and cases, as you can see. The artwork not too great in the background. Oh, I must say too, I've been having trouble with my external mic, and there's nothing. It works on my phone. I'm using I like to use a tablet to do video recording, but I used to always plug it in, and it was fine. It would just work fine. But the other day I went to plug it in. I think it's the C, what do you call it? The USB-C or whatever. And I put it in the side where you would put your power up, and all of a sudden it wants me to sign up to Bixby and give them all my information and Google. Look, I don't know, maybe I'm a child of the 70s, 80s, whatever, even as far back as the 60s, but more in the 70s and 80s. And I remember when you wanted to record something, you stuck your mic into that, cassette recorder or whatever it was, and there was no issue. You didn't have to go and give all your personal information just so you could get an app for that to work when it already has worked. Don't you miss those days of like things just worked without some big company brand having to know all your lively details? Okay, my rant's over. Let's get back to the fun. Over 14 hours. I think I got these at Walmart. I'm not sure, but this is years ago. And do you remember they used to have these, like, I believe they're probably anti-static foam that would also help cushion the disc. Because if the disc would spin around in transportation, you'd get little scoring and rings around the disc. So it would be like this. Sometimes they'd have, you see these little things here, they'd have an insert, maybe a menu or an ad or something. They're trying to sell more product. These particular ones were put out by St. Clair Vision. And to this day, the discs they look pretty good. And I bought these years ago, and I've tried watching them, and they seem fine. And yeah, lots of fun. And then on the back, you'd have the list. And not only that, not only was there a movie, there was actually a lot of bonuses. Like you could get the like a bonus episode of Radar Men from the Moon, and with Commander Cody. Bonus features of the map of planets with links to movie trailers. And they would also have poster galleries so you could just, you could click on the link and it would show you different posters from the old classic movies. Not necessarily these ones, but from older ones of the same time, but not public domain. And yeah, it was great little additions. And it's just like, really cheap. You had that satisfaction of being a collector, and that feeling of having your own little library and fun stuff to watch. Now this one here, you recognize the face there, Richard Hatch, and he's in his Battlestar Galactica Apollo get up there, and I believe he is on here is the one called Prisoners of the Lost Universe, if I remember right, something like that. Prisoners. Yeah, and I think he starred in that. I'm not sure if it was after. I think it was probably after Battlestar Galactica. You can, 1978. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But this too, you had a sci-fi poster gallery is included. Yeah, Star Odyssey, Crash of the Moons, Evil Brain from Outer Space, War of the Robots, A Menace from Outer Space. I can still remember reading it. Oh, one of my most favorite ones. It's so hard to get. But I do see that Imprint has put out a new collection with this movie in it. And if you can't read it, it's Devil Girl from Mars. I love that movie. I don't know. It's just they're lost in a Scottish like bed and breakfast barn or pub. I can't remember what they usually call them over there, way out on the moors or whatever. And yeah, and so from there's an alien encounter, and it's fun. I like the atmosphere it creates because it's kind of a stormy night, and they're secluded. And if I remember right, the lines go down. It's almost like, what was that one with Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff? Oh, I don't think Peter Lorre was in it, but they were all stuck on an island. I'll have to bring this up because I'm planning on doing some Halloween classics, but but it was kind of like the bridge went out and they were all there in this house, and there was there was a murder happened or something, and yeah, it was spooky, creepy, that feeling of being, that kind of fun feeling, at least to watch in a movie, of being isolated and you're with the prisoner in a haunted house or whatever. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so there's another one. I do have another one, I think, about Mad Men and Monsters or something, but it never worked. I picked it up at a Canadian Tire bin years ago. It looked pretty ratty. I think I got it for $5 way back then. Yeah, I don't think it even played. But these still play. And they are from St. Clair Vision, as I said, yes. All right. Here's another, you guys may remember this too. This one is another one from Mill Creek, and it's not a cardboard box. It's an actual plastic box. And this one is the Horror Classics. And of course, on the cover, kind of hard to read, but featuring Vincent Price, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney Jr., and many more favorites. And on the back, of course, just like the cardboard one, it lists different movies, and I imagine Last Man on Earth is definitely on that one. So, okay, be honest with me. How many copies of Last Man on Earth do you own? Yeah, me? I don't know. There's quite a few probably kicking around. Anyways, they would open like this. And the discs were in little paper covers like this. But they kind of laid in on one thing with a little friction tab. There were little tabs there, and the paper, if you can see, would go under the tab on each corner, sort of like you were doing an old photograph or something. Those little little corners that they used to have, little black corner. So the discs were double-sided. Oh yeah, I see Carnival of Souls on there. That's a movie that just always sticks with me for some reason, certain times. Yeah, it just had that. You know, these movies can be, they're quite amazing actually, because you may think, well, they don't have the, they just don't have that something that new movies have, and they were put together on a very limited budget with sometimes characters that just played in so many different, the same actors in different, you know, shows. Like for, I'm not thinking Roger Corman, but give me a second. The other guy, what's his name? Bela Lugosi. Geez, it can't come to my name right now. To my mind. Getting old, I guess. Attack of the Giant Leeches. Another one of my favorite oldies is Attack of the Lion. Attack of, not the Lions. Attack of the Giant Leeches. And they have recently put that on Blu-ray as well. Who did that? Wasn't Imprint? Somebody else, and it's a good copy. Oh yeah, I want to get more of those on Blu-ray. They've just been released. I'm gonna go. Promise. I've got 2 of them. I've got The Terror, you know, with Jack Nicholson, and another little bonus movie with that. And they just came out in the last couple of years on Blu-ray, and so they're much higher quality. So there was The Terror, and there was a whole bunch, like Beast from Haunted Cave. That may have been the other collection I had, Beast from Haunted Cave. So I haven't even watched them yet. And I've had them for a couple of weeks, but you know how time goes. So, but it's somehow, even though you get these really, I love seeing the cleaned up versions. I mean, they're not 4K per se, they're not ultra high definition, but they are high definition, 1080p on a Blu-ray disc. And I do enjoy that, like they have here Metropolis, for example, and I've got a few copies of Metropolis, you know, because they were cheap. And as they found more footage, missing footage from Metropolis, you know, Fritz Lang's movie 1927. Do I have that right? 1927. And amazing effects in that. If you've never seen Metropolis, it just you can see it for free. You can stream it for free. I would probably do that. See if you could stream it somewhere and not go to like the Internet Archives or something, because I'm not sure you'd have the cleanest version of what's available. Because I've even noticed lately on Roku, they have a Universal Monsters thing going on, and it doesn't matter. I'm sure they're using their 4K scan versions for those, because they're fairly clean. I went and bought the 4K for the main ones, you know, Frankenstein, Dracula. I'm talking the 30s here, or 30s and early 40s. So because Creature from Black Lagoon is on that too, which I thought, I don't know, now that I look at it so cleaned up, some of the parts, maybe I should do a review of that, but it's kind of like, it's really good that you could see more, but sometimes it's a little too much. Sometimes you can actually, you know, you see like where in the backgrounds, you know, where the paint, before it was just a haze, because the quality of the, you know, it added to the atmosphere, the lack of quality of the film transfers. But they clean them all up, and you can almost see like maybe where the two paintings came together in the background, in the cave scene, I'm thinking. Anyways, I'm rambling on about that. Here we are. This is how I thought were cool. These were cool, and to have the hard plastic shell. And yeah, I've tried a few. They still work. It's great fun. What else we got down here? I want to make sure I'm not... Well, this is an interesting one. I'll throw it in there and see how it goes. This is just a Flash Gordon. I don't know where I got this. It's paper on the outside. Got a paper cover. And these are neat too. These are really neat. I don't know why, but there's just something about having the physical media. And so you had your own, like your own little box protective cover, you know, like that. And this is Flash Gordon, you know, from who's it from? This is from, what does it say? I'm not sure who put this out. But yeah. Anyways, you got the inside. You got the two DVDs right here, and the two hard shells, and it's very neat. Yeah, look at that. And I'll just open one up. I haven't tried these in a long time, so I'm assuming they work. But who knows? Well, we got some artwork there. Nice artwork right on. Well, that must be a bonus thing with A Scream in the Night. Lon Chaney Jr. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to leave this out in the top of the pile and give that a watch. It's probably not the best quality. The disc still looks good to me. I don't see any obvious signs of deterioration. But sometimes you don't know until you put that disc in the player. And it does matter. I have found out. You get a cheapie, like in my last video, I sort of do a brief review on, I just thought it'd be nice to have a cheap DVD player as a backup, DVD only. No, I should have spent 40 bucks more and got a Blu-ray. That would play. I mean, I already have a Blu-ray player. You see one behind me, and then I own one in the living room that I watch 4Ks on. And I went and thought, well, it'd be cool to have up here a DVD player. But yeah, it's a couple. Maybe I'll put a link here. And I just like, I wasn't happy, you know. It's just not. Some of the discs I thought were bad wasn't the discs. It was the player. So there's that. Before you start throwing out your DVDs, they're all crap. Make sure you try it on them on a number of players, Blu-ray players, DVD player, whatever. All right. Here's another cool little fun one. It's kind of a break from the seriousness. This is one of those kind of an impulse buy. I remember. I'm thinking, I don't need this. This is just sci-fi cartoons. But they had the, had Superman from Max Fleischer. Oh, wait, Fleischer? Is it Fleischer or Fleischer? Oops. When you know the name, and then you realize you might be pronouncing it wrong. Okay, dude, I'll have to look that one up. Yeah, the Superman, and I think there's even that on one of these discs, that one in Duck and Cover where they had, I think, maybe I'm wrong, from the 60s when there was nuclear wars and stuff. This is the greatest sci-fi cartoons of all time. I mean, maybe Superman, yeah. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You get pretty good quality there. All right, I'm going to toss that one over there. Now these ones, these were cool. These were like, oh man, these were massive. Massive, and for such a low, you really felt like you were getting something. They were put out by Platinum, and I still remember their logo that comes up, I guess you'd have to see it. I'm not going to try to make it. But it was a 4 DVD set, and that's so cool, right? You could open them like this, and it was like, yeah, once again, you had your own library. On the back here, it says the giant Gila monster, the Phantom of the. I have to take some English lessons, I think. The Phantom from 10,000 Leagues, The Amazing Transparent Man, Aliens from Space, The Brain That Wouldn't Die. The Brain That Wouldn't Die. That's one that shocked me, and I won't say any more. No spoilers, but. You never know what you're going to find in these old shows. So they had the painted covers. It's upside down, actually. So on the inside. And then you just had your disc like this. And it looks pretty good. Visually speaking. But there were a couple. And I remember picking them up. And I mean, when you do this, it's like you just got to have both. I mean, when you're getting these things, they would show up. I think I got these at Walmart, and it was probably like 20 years ago. And I really suck with dates, so maybe it was yesterday, but no. Seriously, no, it was a long time ago, and you could you pick these up, and you'd see them in a bin for 2 for $10, like this, yeah, plus your taxes. And so I remember seeing both of these, and of course there's Flash Gordon again, 8 episodes of, but it had Phantom from Space, Creature, Warning from Space, The Killer Shrews, and how many copies of that do we have? The Last Woman on Earth, and many, many more. As you can see on the back. You may see these ones floating around on eBay, and like I said, they might be hundreds of dollars. I don't know. You can freeze this if you want. If you really want to take a look, if you're that interested, you can freeze this image and see how it goes. But these were cool because you had this sense, like I say, you had this sense you had your own little library. And yeah, you know, that's kind of cool. Excuse me a sec. I'm just gonna have a little drink. Seriously, not just to show off my Twilight Zone mug, but I was okay. Speaking of English lessons, I was at the dentist this morning, and yeah, it's kind of left me a little dried out, and had to have a filling. And I don't know why I always get so frightened when I'm sitting there and you hear that thing and you're like, man, this is gonna be painful. This is a horror movie, and it's not. You know, the guy knows what he's doing. You don't feel anything. He does a good job. Anyways, back to the fun stuff. Yeah, these there's something about these. It's just, I don't know, cheesy maybe, corny maybe. I'm not sure, but look at that artwork. Brain That Wouldn't Die, The Wasp Woman, Teenagers from Outer Space, and The Killer Shrews. Oh, what do you know? There's another copy, and it had inside the same idea. And the artwork's kind of cool. Now this video is getting a little long, I know, and maybe you guys have dropped out, but like I said, it's just a little trip down nostalgia. Look at that, eh? When they take the photos and the art and they add it together, it's so neat. I like it. I love it, really. I always have, and I don't know why, but look at that, hey? Isn't that something? I'm going to show you every one. Killer Shrews. Yep. That's a neat movie. Pretty much all these you can find online for cheap. And if you're going to be an MST3K fan, there's The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I'm thinking. Yeah, another copy. But hey, $5. Oh well. Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, geez, it just slipped my mind. Yeah, if you're going to watch these, if you're going to get into like MST3K, where they riff a lot of these type of movies, I remember with our kids when they were growing up, we would show these. We'd have these movies as just like, free shows where we'd have snacks. We'd have cut up veggies, and we'd have cheesies and all that cheesies and cheese. That's where the name Cheesy Thumbprints comes from my YouTube channel here. It's because cheesy thumbprints get on your discs if you're not careful. Anyway, so now you know. Now you know. I remember this was at a co-worker and friend of mine. We worked together, and I remember we went down on a break. We were working in a CD DVD store. We sold a lot of movies too, even though it was CD store. And on a break, we went to the local. I think it could have been in the fall because we would have had more staff on, so the two of us could have left. And we went down, took our break, shopped around Zeller's, I think it was, and I saw that, and I just sort of like salivated over it. I was looking at it in the package, and you know how you are when you see these things, eh? And I just thought, nah, I can't just keep buying stuff like this. I didn't even say it out loud. And later on, I think he went for a coffee or something, and he came back with it, and he said, man, I saw how you looked at this, and he bought it for me. Bless his heart, man. He bought it for me, and I accepted it as a gift. Of course, they weren't tons of money back then, for these things, but not like you probably see on eBay. Okay, here's one. This is in a steel, we'll call it, I don't know if you call it a steel book or not. Do you guys remember seeing this kicking around in the stores or something like it? You can see the embossed image here in the metal, and on the back. Oop, am I upside down? Oh, I got the cover on upside down. Horror Hotel is on there. The Terror, Jack Nicholson again. Yeah, you see a lot of them there. Nightmare Castle. I liked Nightmare Castle. So yeah, and this one I think even comes with a little booklet, if I remember right. There it is. You can probably see the 3D embossed effect better like that, eh? So back then, yeah, you could get these for cheap, man. Even here, it had a button, and I did replace the batteries. Want to hear? There we go. So you can't shut it off. It just plays that. So I'll pop this out, and I'll show you how they had it inside. This is all for nostalgia. And for the history books, I guess. The archives. A little bit of a psycho rip there. So it's the same image on the paper cover, cardboard, and inside you'd open it up like this. They'd fold open, you know. Not the best way to show you because I'm afraid the discs are all going to fall out. But can you see that? Yeah, see that, how they were? They were kind of like that. And in the center, it looks like there's at least two. I'm showing you everything upside down. Just turn your phone or your TV upside down when you're watching this. Yeah, same thing. Terror, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't remember which one that one is. Oh, John Barrymore. Okay. Disc 5. Hey, if you ever get a chance to see the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with my brain, the French guy, you know, French name. Anyways, way back, one of the first ones, 30s, I think. It's amazing. The effects, you know, they use very simple tricks to make him change from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde, and yeah, I think it was pre-code era film, a pre-code era film, and the name will come to me after I shut the camera off. You know, it's just a little bit of brain shutting down with screen fright. And guess what? House on Haunted Hill is on this one too. But I mean, these are so cheap. These are so cheap that you're paying, you know, 10, 12 bucks or more, maybe. Maybe this was 20, I don't know. Maybe a little bit more than 20. But even though you were getting doubles, you were getting some of the movies that you didn't have, right? So that's kind of what happened. Okay, we're just gonna. Oh, I see a Boris Karloff collection that was on one of those St. Clair Vision things. And Mr. Wong, there's some Mr. Wong in Chinatown, a couple of those on here. Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome, The Ape, Juggernaut, and The Terror and the Snake People. Okay, I won't get into that one too much, but I bought that one. I think I got a discount on it from where I worked, and so I thought, well, it's worth it. All right, these two are neat. And I think you might even be able to see these somewhere streaming, the actual episodes. 100 Years of Horror, and it's hosted by Christopher Lee, and A Century of Science Fiction. And you can see it kind of covers a lot of the movies that you can see standard. There's Forbidden Planet, Attack the 50-Foot Woman. Actually, I have a poster of this just over there. Yeah. I'll have to show it to you guys sometime. The Mole People. So in these, it's not that they're public domain movies, of course, but they only show clips and the interviews. There's an amazing amount of interviews in there. And where's that one? I thought I had a little booklet included and I didn't see it. Huh. Oh well. This one has like the menu and the little book and the print on it. You can see. It covers more than what you see here, you know, Logan's Run and all that. It just gives you like little brief of each episode and what's included in these things. And both of them, of course, you have the genius of Christopher Lee and his ability on the other, the horror collection. But, and then the trays would open like this. You have this like hinge thing. Boy, I got to figure a better way to do this. I'm just afraid I'm going to lose a disc here on the floor or something because I haven't opened this. And I hope I'm not muttering because of my mic being missing, but here you go, guys. And those things there, those are the little security feature things that you demagnetize when you go into a store. You'd see somebody take the product, whether it was a CD or DVD, and we would put it on the counter, and we go like this, or under the counter actually, and there was a thing that we called demagnetized it, so that when you walked out through the door, after you paid for this, and you walked out through the security, it wouldn't set off the security. If you did it right. But yeah, this will cover a lot of movies you haven't seen, but it also will, it kind of gives you spoilers too, which is kind of, I don't know if you should just seek out the movies and watch them first and then get a copy of this or whatever. It's not, I don't think it's available anymore. It was Passport Video. Okay, Passport Video did these, and I think it's the same Passport Video here too. Yeah. I probably got these in a, you know, buy them both for something as well. But the information that's packed on these are amazing. It's just amazing. You wouldn't believe. You know, like there's a part in there where I learned that Vincent Price, when they were filming, what was the movie they made in Haiti, and it was about zombies and stuff. Because I was listening to the one about the zombies recently, and apparently Vincent Price on the breaks was just blowing their minds, and the mayor of the town or whatever, somebody quite important, he just couldn't believe how much Vincent Price knew about, you know, the history of the Haitians and the occult there, and that, you know, it was just fascinating, I guess, to listen to. So this has also interviews, you know, of, like, it would be, say, like, I think Boris Karloff's daughter, I think she's interviewed on this too. You know, just a whole bunch of things like that, and the people that, some people who had created the shows or been a director or, you know, they just have these interviews, and it's very interesting. Okay, I see we're kind of running out of time here today. I'm not sure if there's anything else that I need to cover. These, yeah, I showed you, these had the painted covers, and of course, they don't show the entire movie. So yeah, I hope I made that clear. They don't show the entire movie. Sometimes you'd have a disc. This is one of the things too. You'd say, oh, where's my other disc? And it's in behind the little booklet that was included, that slips into that little spot there. All right, now I don't think there was anything else I have to mention to you guys today, and it's already run on for 30 minutes, so I don't want to keep you. Those were fun times. I did enjoy collecting these things. This was a little later from Mill Creek. This a little later on. Great little collection. Only four movies, but The Brotherhood of Satan is kind of, you know, one of those 70s exploitation kind of movies. But you had The Revenge of Frankenstein, and I think that's with Peter Cushing. Yep, and Mr. Sardonicus. That's creepy too. You know, if you ever get a chance to watch that. That's a creepy, you know, it's from the 60s, it's black and white, but it has its atmosphere, and it's got some surprises in there for you. And The Return of the Vampire, I remember that too. Speaking of atmosphere, that was great. There's a great, if I remember right, like a cemetery scene there. It's just awesome, the stuff they used to build, you know, in these old movies. I think that's all I have for you guys, and it's been so fast. It's gone so fast, but I know your time is precious. And oh, there's a little booklet. I forgot to tell you, there's a little booklet that came from the horror classics, and a little write-up on each one. Man, you could get so much for so little back in the day. But yeah, so you're ever at a yard sale or a garage sale or someplace and you see those, might be worth picking them up. They seem to have held up pretty good, at least if they haven't been in some high humidity or high heat situation. I think that's it for Cheesy Thumbprints today. We'll see you in the next one, guys, and we'll see you in the movies. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.